I haven't cleaned my room today, or yesterday, or the past couple of days. I make the bed. There was this conversation I had, or maybe it was Atomic Habits. I'm not sure where I got this thing from, this habit from, but I was told that if you start your day with making the bed, you've already done one win, right? You've already made it so that in your day, you're at least a little bit productive. And often for a lot of people, that sort of balloons out, that snowball down a cliff out into a day where they might do their taxes, do their work, where they find motivation in that the day couldn't have been a waste. And it worked for me for a really long time. And it's become the point where it's so good of a habit where I don't even recognize it as a win anymore. It's just something I automatically do when I wake up. Just throw the sheet, fold it over. And maybe I should recognize myself more for it. Maybe we should recognize ourselves for our first win of the day a lot more frequently, even if it's something that is entirely and absolutely something that we do unconsciously. Like, celebrate getting out of bed. Celebrate brushing your teeth. Celebrate eating breakfast. There are a lot of things that are actually exceptional, or rather, it would put you on the upper end of average versus the lower end of average, that I think we're worthy of sort of complimenting ourselves for. And I feel like this conversation is going to immediately sort of drift off. I can feel people typing comments already about our participation trophy environment, our ecosystem that we've created since maybe like the 90s all the way up through now, where we can't meaningfully praise brilliant behavior or brilliant achievement because at a time where people are growing up, our egos are so fragile that they need constantly reassurance and constant support in order for us to work. Or, God forbid, one of us has our heart broken in the third grade for not doing a sock hop, and that carries with us all the way into our adulthood. I lie down in my couch, staring at the ceiling. It's popcorn ceiling, and at my side, my therapist leans in and goes, "What is wrong? Where did it all start? Where did the pain start?" And I go, "Well, I participated in a sock hop in the third grade, and I didn't get a trophy." Okay, that aside, I do think there is some merit to criticism of that, because I do think that competition can be fun, right? People who elect to join competition can be fun, and removing that fun for them, it's hard for me, right? Because I'm a great believer of, if your fun isn't hurting anyone, then you should have absolute free reign to do whatever you'd like. And for some people, that fun is being the best, right? This is why I'll never disparage or look down on people who make video games their like specific skill set, because you completed Minecraft in a minute and 30 seconds, and that takes a lot of will and a lot of effort to hone up. That is a skill just like any other. But celebrating yourself isn't necessarily about, I guess it's a little bit about guarding your heart, but it's not necessarily about praising yourself for the bare minimum. I think celebrating yourself has more to do with how strung out we are nowadays on stimulation. I recently hit 800 on Twitch, and that is really wonderful. I recently had sort of the highest average viewership that I've had in the past 2 years, and in both of those, I was very, very happy, very, very briefly. I was very, very excited that I had hit a goal, that I had met a whole bunch of new people, and I'm still meeting new people on YouTube, which is absolutely great. But something that I fear is that eventually I'm going to get used to this. I'm going to get used to existing in a space, and it's equally bad to get used to something that is positive than something that is negative. Because when you get used to positive stimulus, it becomes your baseline, and you need that and then some to feel happy. And it's a bit worrisome. And it reminds me that our happiness is something that requires constant maintenance, constant introspection, constant looking at ourselves in order to safeguard and maintain. And don't be happy all the time. Don't be a mask. Don't be just a blank expression. But I also don't think it's necessarily... I still think it's virtuous to chase after happiness where you can. Always. So long as you're not hurting anyone. And people don't know it, but you're praising yourself for the simplest basic things causes you to appreciate them more. Just a little more. You look at yourself and you perform something that you've done a million times, but you tell yourself consciously in this moment, I'm proud of myself. And maybe if you do that enough times, your brain begins to see this, I'm proud of myself for this thing or that thing, for this small, previously thought to be insignificant thing. I've become happy with myself for doing it. And your brain rewards you little by little by little. Little by little, your brain rewires in order to accommodate that thought, because it's happened so often that it needs a little highway, a little passageway to make this movement of neurons and electricity more efficient. And eventually, you've built a good habit. More than built a good habit of making your bed, of brushing your teeth, of making breakfast in the morning, you've made a habit of praising yourself, of having some kind of resilience and stability for your ego, aside of people telling you did a good job. It's not just them telling you did a good job. It's enough for you to hear from yourself that you did a good job. And if you want to improve from that, I'm not telling you that we should stay stagnant. We should always be chasing after greater things for ourselves. You deserve a manager. You deserve a PR team. You deserve somebody at your back pushing you. And we don't get that luxury. Not many of us do. So we have to do that for ourselves. We have to keep ourselves accountable for the goals we want to hit. Self-care isn't just about entertaining a state of nothing, of calm, of just complete ease and satisfaction. It is about mindfully chasing what you want to be, getting closer to this aspirational self that you have for yourself. If you haven't built one, start. It can be very helpful. But it's about reaching where you want to go in a healthy way that doesn't just throw yourself down, doesn't destroy you by virtue of working toward it. Some people work themselves too hard. And for some people, those people are rewarded for their hard work. And that's fantastic. I love seeing hard work rewarded, just met with an equal amount of reward. But you have to remember that all the people who grinded out their work, like say Rin Penrose, for example, fantastic creator, fantastic shorts maker, spent an entire month creating them day by day by day. That is impressive. That is fantastic. And they absolutely deserve the reward they got. But you also have to remember that pushing yourself that hard, you have to think about the tens, the hundreds of other creators in Rin's caliber who did the same thing. Camera died. Ding ding, 10 minutes.